Yesterday, two trailers came out. One for Warhammer and upcoming animations for Warhammer Plus, and the other for Warhammer 500, basically, which is about Titus. So we're gonna talk about what's what and all those things. And the third topic is, of course, about GHAMAK, the video that we released about the lawsuit. So first of all, we have the Warhammer 500. So let's react to this first, and then I'm gonna read you what's that. Let's see Titus and what he has been up to.
They await your presence, my lord.
He commands us to reconquer the 500 worlds of Ultramar. In the 10,000 years between his death and rebirth, how many worlds have been scoured by the archenemy? Devoured by the monsters of the hive mind? Sacrificed on the altar of Exterminatus? He is a demigod out of time. Fighting for a golden age that can never dawn again.
Welcome home. Rise, Demetrius Titus, Master of the Watch, Captain of the Second Company, Warden of Ultramar!
The
So cool.
Primarch reborn demands the impossible. But only in death does duty end.
Okay, these are very beautiful, very cool. I'm gonna comment on everything, guys. I just don't want to break the trailer, but yeah, I can talk here more. These look amazing, really. But we're gonna touch upon a lot of aspects here. So, 500 worlds. Okay. Now we're going to repeat that, and I'm going to comment on some things, and I'm going to read you what this is, basically. Because I was confused myself when I saw this the first time. So let's play it again, and I'm gonna read, guys. Okay, so Warhammer 40,500 Worlds is a major narrative expansion or campaign storyline for the Warhammer 40k tabletop game announced by Games Workshop on November 7th to 8th, 2025 during the World Championships of Warhammer preview livestream. It centers on the 500 worlds of Ultramar, also called the 500 Worlds, the ancient realm of the ultramarine space marines, once over 500 planets ruled by their primarch Rebute Gilliman, now diminished and under threat. The story follows the Ultramarine. That's so funny how this is written. Okay, the Ultramarine reclamation, where Gilliman orders the retaking of those lost worlds from Necron invaders on the Vaspator front. Key figure, Captain Demetrius Titus from the Space Marine video games, now leading the Ultramarines' second company against Destroyer Lord Necrosaur Amentar and forces tied to the Catan shard of the Nightbringer. So Titus is finally a freaking captain yet again. That is great. I love it. I mean, Titus deserves it. He went through so much crap, so I'm happy about that. Of course, that development in the lore. I don't know how many people are gonna be happy or not happy about this. You have to tell me in the comments, guys. That's why you're here. I'm not gonna play the tabletop game in any case. I'm interested in the lore only. Is the lore good? That's what I want to know. So continuing a bit further, the first release, 500 Worlds Titus, is a premium 4-book slipcase set Titus is the main lore book, new artwork, photography, and the full Ultramarine Reclamation Chronicle. That is what is included. War on the Vespator Front, campaign system for standard 40k games with 3 alliances fighting over a large included map for territory control, dread incursions, boarding actions, missions, and maps, playable standalone or in campaign. Titus detachments, 3 each for Space Marines and Necrons, whatever that means, guys. Accompanying minis include the new Captain Titus model, obviously, because they have to make money, and it's really badass, really. An Ultramarines Wardens of Ultramar box and the 500 Worlds Battalion, Necrons, Hexmark Destroyer, Scorpech Destroyers, Obsidian Destroyers, Locust Heavy Destroyers, Plasma Sights something. Okay, who cares? I mean, maybe you will care if you play the tabletop. But the point is, first of all, what interests me, because I'm from this side of the Warhammer 40k universe, where I'm interested in the lore of what the heck is happening, and of course, I'm always super huge fan of the cinematics. So a cinematic, whatever trailer, is all well and good for me. I have no complaints. They really try to sell what they offer very well. So that's the thing. Now, is the story gonna be interesting? I really hope so. This seems like a huge undertaking to try to retake 500 worlds. It sounds really crazy. And Gilliman is busy with so many things. He's trying to be everywhere at once, like fight the Tyranids, now fight the Necrons. I'm not sure what the heck is the idea. I hope there's some kind of a cohesiveness to this part of the lore and explanation. How is he's able to manage this? Maybe he's gonna go to fight the Tyranids himself. At least that's how it looks like. I gotta check. I'm still catching up on some of the new books, so I need some time for that. But in any case, this does look epic. I just hope that it's written well, because we do know how GW can be with the lore these days. They are basically, you know, what I covered for the last 2 weeks, how they said how they explained how Calgar became a Primaris, but they totally left out the reason why in the first place he became a Primaris. Like little things like that that are not so little, actually. So it's kind of like, where's the lore masters that are supposed to keep everything tight? Or is this really just a simplification, or is this some kind of a competence? Like, what is it really? So it's kind of like, I mean, these things bring a concern about how much cohesiveness we will have in this case. But when it comes to Titus, at least I think that they should work with the guys that created the story for the games. So with them, they can talk, they can decide what's good, what's not, according to Titus' character as well, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, because we will have a Space Marine 3 game, and Titus is going to be there. And what happens here is probably going to transfer somehow to the games. Maybe we're going to see something that happened here in the games, or maybe we're going to see something that happened after what happens in this storyline from the 500 worlds. So that's also very interesting to see exactly, you know, what is the direction that they're going to take with that story of Titus, because it has to connect somehow to the games. It has to make sense, even if it's like 200 years after the events of this, but I kind of doubt it. And every time that we see Titus, he's like looking older and older for some reason, although, you know, Space Marines can live for hundreds, even thousands of years, and they're not supposed to get old very fast. On the contrary, it's very slow. But we'll see what happens, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments about this. Is it cool? Is it not? Would you buy it? Are you interested in something like that? That's kind of like an addition. Kind of like an addition to the 40k games. Is a whole, still a new lore. Titus is cool. Some people say that the story about Titus and the story that Space Marine 2 brought, and Space Marine 1, of course, games is, I mean, that's one of the coolest things that GW actually didn't think of, but somebody else did, and they made kind of like a better story than what GW are able to do. I mean, GW can make very good stories, but it depends who writes them. They have so many authors, so it's kind of debatable how good is the story of Titus. I'm interested in his character, how special he is, that he is very warp resistant, and that's gonna make him extremely valuable because he's not. He's absolutely immune to be corrupted, basically. Absolutely immune. He has something that the warp hates, and yeah, there's something about him. So I'm interested in that, what makes him special. Otherwise, you have many heroes in the Imperium, like Calgar and others that are super special and everybody loves them. You know, Dante from the Blood Angels and whoever, there's so many. So we have to have something that makes him really special, and that is really it. But also his resolve and his strength. No matter how hard this mission looks, I'm sure that he will take it. Now, I see you there. See you there in the chat, Mr. Mewtube. I'm gonna read your comment. Just hold on. This is a very fun shot because it looks exactly like Willem Dafoe when he played in Spider-Man. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. Like, doesn't this look like Willem Dafoe, guys? His eyes, his design is changed every time. I don't know why. Can they just use one consistent model of Titus? Because this looks like Titus, but again, his eyes are so much like Willem Dafoe. It's crazy. I'm gonna try to show you this. Willem Dafoe. Hold on. That's gonna be funny. So, Mr. YouTube has you. Mr. YouTube says that he thinks it's incompetence on purpose. It is entirely possible by this point. Also, I'm surprised that Titus got his formed... What is that? Hold on. A position as captain of the second company back, but how he got it, we'll learn next week. Also, they ruin Dreaming Gadriel's artwork in the review. Oh yes, I saw that. He looks like the potato Astartes from the Tau show. Is that a Tau show? I don't know what you mean there. Is that an abbreviation for something? The model still looks cool. Yeah, he has amazing shoulders and everything. Hey, King of Monsters. King of Monsters. Hi, I'm so happy to see you. In general. Wow, that does kind of look like Willem Dafoe. Yeah, just let me show you. Let me show you. Great actor. The Last of Us. Potato actors from The Last of Us. No, that's a... Mr. That's too much now. I mean, she looks horrible. Come on, he doesn't look that bad. Okay, just let me just show you just one picture of what I mean here. And we can move on because, yeah, time is limited today. Eek, I'm searching for like a very... There's one particular shot in the movie, but we're never gonna find that, where you see his eyes. And when you see his eyes, then you're like, oh yes, this... I mean... There is a freaking resemblance in the eyes. Okay, it's not the same. I'm just trying to find something that, you know, where he looks forward to the camera. Not gonna find that, so I'm just gonna show you a picture of whatever I just found. And I hope you can see it. Okay. Hold on to your butts. Are you holding on? Okay. Here it's... Is this gonna show up? It's another format though. Damn it. The OBS does not like this format, but I can fix this. I'm very fast. Okay. Almost got it. Yes! Okay. Just for... yeah. Also his nose, you know. I'm an artist, by the way, so I understand facial features very well. So even if you don't see it, I'm showing you the eyes. They're also kind of greenish. The shape of the eyes and the shape of the nose, how it's like triangular and like narrow here, and then it gets very white in that area. The lips are thin from that type. Even the eyebrow shape is a bit similar, you see? It's OG. Okay, yes, I know. I know. So yeah, I don't know if you see that, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna delete this right now and we can move on to the next topic. Okay. So prepare your butts now. Prepare your butts. It's very important. Okay, your imperial butts. So up next, guys, we have the latest Warhammer 40k Warhammer Plus animation. Gosh, this is a mouthful, but no, really, guys, Warhammer Plus has been a huge letdown for the past maybe 3 years. I subscribed at the very beginning just because I wanted to cover every single thing that came out of there. But unfortunately, I was disappointed. I actually was able to even get the miniature, and some of you supported me so I can keep having it and I can cover things. But after that, I was actually region blocked. So yeah, region blocked. So I couldn't watch a lot of things. I had to find another workaround. But the point is that for about 6 months straight, I remember there was, I mean, for the past 3 years, 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, we didn't get any animation. And I know that animations take a lot of time to make, produce, they're expensive, all of that, but also Astartes. We're still waiting for Astartes project to drop. And that maybe, I mean, that has been in the works for like, what, 5 years? I don't know by this point, but it's maybe 5. I'm pretty sure we are closing in on 5 or 4 or whatever. It's a lot. So let's see what they have here. And I'm gonna read your comments after that, guys, of course. Let's see. In the grim darkness of Give Me Animations, and you're not really giving me that. Oh, there's a Sister of Battle, okay.
What were those things?
Eldari. We shall risk everything for this.
How do we fight ghosts?
And this war will last forever. Begin the ritual.
Oh, Hammer and Bolter.
The next wave of greenskins will soon reach our world.
How is it made? How is it made? Sorry. Oh, it's interesting.
The Emperor will see us through this.
The music is just very cool, very cool.
We will not abandon these souls. You have my word. Merciful Emperor.
Okay, so we did see several at least animations. We're gonna repeat that, of course. Everything looks top-notch quality, really. And we have one glimpse of Astartes, at least what I can recognize. The rest of these, I don't know, maybe something entirely brand new with the Sisters of Battle, and also we see maybe Hammer and Bolter. I don't know what else that could be. So yeah, more of the Sisters of Battle is always good. I love to see that. They're very fascinating. The Pariah Nexus animations were very well done. I just loved it. I love the interaction of the Sister of Battle with that Astarte. Yeah,
How do we fight?
it's pretty great.
ghosts?
Then this war will last forever.
The Eldari always need a bit more, so
Ritual.
a bit more exposure. This looks very good, yeah.
The next wave of greenskins will soon reach our world.
Some dead corpse of Creek, some orcs. How it's made. Can't imagine how much time this is gonna take. They're using motion captures, which is pretty cool, just like
See us through this.
the games, the Space Marine 2 games. I always love to see how it's made. It's amazing.
will not abandon these souls. You have my word. Merciful Emperor.
Oh, that's gonna be very cool, I think. Yeah, it's just that, you know, maybe it's, totally worth it to subscribe at least to see some of these, or just subscribe all at once and see everything at once. But to keep it like every month when you're not actually gonna get anything for the most part, it's kind of like a bummer. I'm just gonna leave it plain so I can talk. Let's see what your guys are saying. But to me, these look great. It's a great effort from GW, but I just think that it's not enough yet. Maybe in time, but I know it takes a lot of time. To be fair, it takes a lot. But the thing is that they talked a big word. They made a big deal that we're gonna get animations regularly. Jesus, in the beginning, and we got the whole Angels of Death series and all of that. But still, it wasn't. It just was too far between. So it's always good to just subscribe at the end of the year or something. Just watch everything and just unsubscribe. Do the same thing later and whatever. I mean, some people do want to get the miniature. I don't know what that's gonna be worth in the long run. Is it gonna be worth all the money that you're gonna pay for a year? I don't really think so. Okay, let's see what your guys are saying in the chat. Okay, there's pics of Willem Dafoe where he looks even more alike. Yeah, I know, yes, I just couldn't find those pictures so fast. I'm something of a scientist myself. Willem Dafoe is Norman Osborn. Yeah. Mr. YouTube says, yeah, also there was this Talos Valkoran animation. They have teased with the announcements of their Warhammer Plus platform. Yeah, it was here, yeah, that one thing. It was never released, it seems. That is now 7 years ago. At Talos. Oh, I know about the Warhammer Fantasy that was called something of a Talon. I forgot what. But yeah, Talos is different. That's pretty sad if they didn't release it. But in any case, guys, let me know what you think. It's always great to get these trailers, and I'm gonna try to watch them and review them like I always do. I did miss a Warhammer Fantasy animation that was released like 2 months ago. I'll try to find and watch it. I did review Horus, the last Horus animation, which was just about freaking Titans, and there was no actual Horus there. If you expected to see actual Horus, you'll be disappointed. It was just another side story that is all well and good on its own, but as always, I don't understand why they have to, like, dig the bottom of the barrel and get something out of there that nobody would even think of, when we can have so many other stories that are more main lore or something that's just, better characters, bigger characters, whatever. They just show us something that is insignificant in the grand scheme of things. You see how Titans work, which is great, but before that we already had an animation with freaking Titans. It was just another story of family that like a royal family that also had Titans and stuff. So I wish for something bigger, something more meaningful with more famous characters and all of that. It's just my wish. But let me know what you think in the comments, of course, guys. Now, we gotta move on to the last story of the stream, and this is going to be totally different. This is going to be about the GHAMAK lawsuit. And I do need to drink water before we continue. This is a 9-minute video. Okay, so last time I did cover this when the first video came out. We talked about it. A lot of people have many opinions. I do want to invite Eamon G to talk about this, to just, give his opinion, because he was already in a lawsuit. He was like one of the most famous cases, if not the most famous case up to this point, of someone that's a guy that creates files for 3D printing, 3D models, and he got sued to the point of complete bankruptcy, and only people saved him. And I interviewed him. He was able to get out of the lawsuit because GW eventually dropped it, but not before he paid a ton of money, which could totally ruin his life. Could have, and did to a certain extent. Now he is doing other things. He has his own project that he's working on, and if he wants to talk about that, he's welcome to. Here on the stream, we have to schedule something so he can give his opinion on this. But now I'm gonna give you my opinion. So let's see this video, and we're going to discuss.
Hello, I'm Francesco Pizzo, and this is the second video about my legal battle against Games Workshop. First of all, thank you to all those who donated or shared the kind words of support. Your financial support, comments, and emails have been a warm hug in this difficult moment. I take this change to explain that GoFundMe automatically adjusts the initial goal in a smaller milestone. When I created this campaign, I set an initial goal of €100,000 since this will only cover part of the legal fee we have to pay.
That's a lot.
Today, I would like to give you more details. The topic is extremely complex and there are so many different parts to discuss. We are talking about hundreds of pages in legal documents and evidence in the form of images and videos. So I decided to break my story into smaller parts. Let's start from the beginning. In March 2023, I received the first letter from an Italian law firm representing Games Workshop. In this letter, they claiming that we legally used the protected trademarks by using tags. We infringed the copyright on their models. We practiced unfair competition. They asked to remove at least 400 models allegedly violating their copyright, more than half of our catalog at the time, without even providing a full list of such models, nor a corresponding list of Games Workshop models.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here because we're not gonna be able to like go through everything at the end and like repeat it 100 times. So if this is all true, so I'm just going to go by if this is so completely true, and I have to take it this way because this is what we know, this is what he says. So if he trusts him completely on what he says, and I don't know why he would have any reason to not be truthful here. This is a legal case, so it's very important to present the exact facts. And he is probably consulting with his lawyer what he can say, and so far the information seems absolutely legit and making total sense because we know how GW could be. Before we knew about this, we also knew from Jarnovich that, of course, GW are trying to sue other content creators for animations. They're trying to sue other people that made miniatures. So they just launched this crusade on different people and different sites for all kinds of different things, actually, if I have to sum it all up. So this totally aligns, that information, with what is happening to GHAMAK here. To me, at least, it seems ridiculous for Warhammer, for GW to require such a thing, to just remove 400 models but not list them, because these guys have models that do look like they not the exact copy, of course, it's not the exact copy, but you can tell immediately that a particular model looks like another particular model that is GW original. You can totally do that. Do they changed some parts of, let's say, gauntlets, weapons, capes, whatever, hoods, chains? Yeah, they totally did, but at least when you look at it from a first glance, some models do look extremely similar. But again, it's very important how similar. If certain ornaments or whatever are exactly the same, this is an issue. I didn't see exactly the same from what at least I saw, but the overall resemblance was very high. But in any case, they have models like that, but they also have models that have nothing to do with anything Games Workshop related. I mean, they don't really look like that. They're very, very different and whatever. So you can't just say, hey, just remove your models. Like, hey, these are still their property. So this claim, at least to me, seems absolutely crazy and outlandish and extremely crossing all kinds of lines. But I mean, we are gonna see exactly what's gonna happen at the end. But that's how it seems. I'm just saying and using the words "it seems." If you're a specialist on these cases, feel free to say here. And yes, I'm aware of the time. I'm gonna be late. Ryan knows that I'm gonna be late for the other stream, so yeah, I know that night PM is closing. I know.
Nor an explanation of how any of our models were infringing the copyright. To remove all tags related to protected trademarks. To disclose sensitive data such as revenue, supplies, cost, collaborators, commercial partners. To pay 2,500 euros as a legal cost refund. I was given 7 days to reply or they will take me to court. Because they didn't bother to explain how we were infringing their copyright and on which particular model, I decided to contact an experienced law firm in IP rights. We replied raising doubts about Games Workshop ownership of copyrights on the miniatures, as well as about the subsistence of the requisite for the claiming copyright protection. Novelty, originality, creativity. We will discuss this topic in detail in the next videos. For now, we point your attention on an obvious example. The eagle posted in the description of the GoFundMe fundraiser. In our opinion, that eagle sold by Games Workshop lacks the requisite of novelty, originality and creativity to be granted a protection that would inhibit any other company to create and sell another eagle as long as it's not an exact copy of Games Workshop's one. We also mentioned that the use of tags was descriptive, just to confirm the compatibility of our models with Games Workshop's games. We finally offered to schedule a meeting to better understand their claims and solve the matter amicably. I feel the need to clarify the situation back in 2023 before moving forward with the story. First of all, the use of tags. As at the time, almost every company creating agnostic models that could also be used in Games Workshop's games were using tags like Warhammer or Warhammer 40k. We used the tags because in the Chapter House lawsuit, the judge had ruled that the use of protected words was acceptable to express compatibility of a product. This is a similar principle of buying third-party parts compatible with a Ford or a Mercedes. A company is allowed to mention that its part is compatible with that car. Since everyone was using them, we thought it was safe to do so, to express compatibility with their games. This was supposed to be fine as long as we did not sell our products passing for Games Workshop or by implying association with Games Workshop.
Okay, so far everything checks out, seems logical. Yeah, seems fine what he's explaining, so I don't have any objections towards it. If you have, let us know. I mean, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna address all the comments at the end of this. But real quick, hi to Jack74. Jack, we just talked about Titus, we talked about the new trailer, we talked about the new Warhammer 40k animations and Warhammer Plus that were released. So that part has passed, but I'm gonna cut them into videos in these coming days at least. So guys, maybe the chat is late or you just coming here, but yeah, we just passed the Titus part already. We are like 1 hour into the stream now, so we are at the last topic that's featured in the stream. Hi to Haley Cohen, who says, I love Titus, have done since Space Marine 1, but I can't help but feel they're slowly turning Ultramarines back into the Mudward Mary Sue era again, and it worries me. I'm not sure, because they're gonna go through hell to fight freaking Necrons now all of a sudden, and also Tyranids on another front. So that's gonna be hard. They're gonna be slaughtered a lot. I'm not sure they're gonna be Mary Sue's. And you know that they're kind of like the guys in 40k that can do a little bit from everything. They're very well rounded. So I mean, someone has to be, but that doesn't mean that they're not. I mean, that doesn't mean that they're Mary Sue's, or that doesn't mean that they're the best. They're just, good at everything, a little bit here and there. So yeah, the jack of all trades, the Swift knife, Swiss knife. Yeah, the Swiss knives of 40k, kind of like that. It's more the lack of love for the other 8 legions that worries me. Well, that's always a concern, basically. But that's the thing that, Ultramarines are just kind of like on the front because Gilliman is the only Primarch that is active in the universe. Clearly active because the Lion is there, he's doing stuff, he's discovering. I mean, he is understanding his new life now. Basically, his return, his new powers of teleportation, all those things. And Gilliman and him have not yet connected. So he's not actively doing something for the Imperium based on what Gilliman would want. They also have to have a mutual understanding who's the freaking Lord of the Imperium now, because that is still Gilliman. So there's so many unanswered things. Maybe we can focus on some of the other legions. If the Lion is more active, something else happens, who knows? There's a lot in that GW takes a lot of time to address, basically. Yeah, as you say, but you do get why they're in the spotlight. They're the best known after all. Totally get you. Yeah, this is just the situation that happened. And hi to Iridium Depot. Ultramarines are commercially recognizable because of the massive Space Marine 2 success. Yeah, not only that, they were the flagship, basically Warhammer 40k Space Marines chapter since well, a lot of years, guys, basically. But again, we are now on GHAMAK still. So let me finish with this and then we can talk a little bit about it. But after this, I am actually late for another stream. I have to be on another stream. We have, me and several other creators have a network show, and we talk about gaming, what's happening in pop culture, and I'm one of the hosts of this show, and this is one of the rarest once a month days where we have to gather and talk about what is happening. So gotta be there, but let's finish this.
Not that we never used their logos anywhere on our page or ads. We always took great care to use a graphic in our ads that were totally different from Games Workshop ads or products, always showing only our logo in all photos and videos. Additionally, we focused on selling 3D printable files, which Games Workshop does not sell. In other words, we were sure that no one could mistake a GHAMAK model for a Games Workshop model. However, in an attempt to de-escalate the situation, we immediately stopped using tags such as Warhammer or 40k on new listings, while waiting for their reply to remove the pre-existing tags. After our reply, GHAMAK continued to create models without using such tags, and we started to release army books for our models compatible with the one-page rules games, while waiting for a reply. These days, some people commented, why didn't you remove the contested models immediately? Simple. First of all, we had no list. Games Workshop did not tell us which models they wanted us to remove. They just mentioned they were at least 400 models, but pointed a few examples only. And even if we try to look at which models could have been modified, we had no way to know how far we had to change them to be different enough for them. Despite their initial 7 days deadline, we didn't hear from Games Workshop for another full year. When we received a second letter from their lawyers, substantially identical to the first one, again, Games Workshop claimed the illegal use of marks and unfair competition and demand the disclosure of sensitive data. However, this time they asked 10,000 euros of legal cost. Again, Games Workshop did not specify which models they wanted us to remove. They just mentioning that they were hundreds, if not thousands. Once again, we replied,
I mean, by that token, anybody can claim anything and ask money from you, and say that you copy them, and without anything being proven at all, just take money from you and like claim stuff. Like, what the heck? This is way over the line, in my opinion. Like, it seems crazy the way that he explained it. That's why I need another perspective on this as well. So hopefully I can get MNG soon. But in any case, so far this seems logical. So yeah, but this is typical GW corporate, exactly. Haley Cowan. Sorry if I butchered your name. And this seems outrageous, basically.
expressing our doubts in relation to such a request, but still reiterating our willingness to cooperate. Our intention was obviously to receive guidelines to identify the allegedly infringing models and to avoid making models too similar in the future, according to their opinion. We asked to set up a meeting to resolve the matter, but again, no answer. A few months later,
I mean, this is just outrageous. So they just leave it, they forget it, but they come back to it. Like, the people need to do business. You can't leave them hanging like this. You can't just ruin their lives because you decided that something is also them similar that is illegal now. But again, you have to look at these models. They did make a lot of changes, although when you look at them at first glance, they look very similar, but proportions are not the same. Shapes here and there are not the same. Ornaments are not the same. So that should be different enough for GW to never touch them again. But no, they just push and push. So that's what it really disgusts me.
after failing to have all models removed from my mini factory, they filed a lawsuit not for copyright infringement but for unfair competition. I want to clarify an important point. Infringement of intellectual property rights, trademarks, patents, copyright on the one hand, and unfair competition under the Article 2598 of the Italian Civil Code on the other are two discrete and distinct concepts. Games Workshop is arguing Article 2598 only. The main basis that Games Workshop uses to argue Article 2598 is that the signs, elements, or shapes that GHAMAK uses in its models would immediately identify them as models coming from Games Workshop. GHAMAK disputes this. Our point being that Games Workshop is not able to demonstrate the distinctiveness of their models, as the signs, elements, shapes present in GHAMAK models draw from imaginary universe over which Games Workshop has no exclusive rights. Games Workshop would also have to demonstrate that GHAMAK models are at risk of being confused with those of Games Workshop or of being perceived as coming from Games Workshop. GHAMAK also disputes this. I wrap up this video here. In the next ones I share more details and explain why I believe this case is crucial, not just for GHAMAK but for the entire miniatures industry.
Yeah, and he is totally right. So definitely we're going to check the next video to see more details. Hopefully the guys can fight it. Even if they're not completely right, guys, like he said, this is very important for the whole industry because GW are a monopoly on the miniature world. I mean, there are other companies, but they're the biggest. They have Warhammer 40K, which is the biggest, most famous, most commercial, most well wildly spread. Yeah, that's what I want to say. And they can press on people however they want. Again, keep in mind that they're already trying to do that. They press creators like myself and others before. Some creators did quit even before they're reached by GW out of fear, which is horrible. Like Jonovic just stopped making content, which I also covered. He just stopped making Warhammer 40k content because of this, because he's scared that he's gonna get sued out of freaking nowhere. Before him, we know very well about Brava Alpha Booster who stopped because what? Out of fear. He was not actually reached by GW. They didn't say anything to him. He just decided to stop again out of fear. He could finish the freaking TTS series because what is one more episode? He made so many episodes anyway, but he didn't want to risk it or whatever. I don't think that makes any sense because again, if GW wants to get him for anything, they could get him for absolutely all the episodes if they want, even though this is under the context of parody and something that GW has never made, so it does not resemble any of their stuff. It does go directly under parody, and the lore is not even correct for the most part. It's literally a parody of it. It's funny, it's crazy, and they will never make anything like that because it's not Warhammer 40k, it's not their style. I mean, Warhammer is not a comedy show. Obviously, that's what I mean. Otherwise, it was Warhammer in the heart, of course, but that's not the point. The point is that it's different enough, and I don't think that they would ever go after him. They can go after Bravo Alpha Booza right now because the episodes are there. Even if the episode was just one and it was 2 minutes, but he has hours of that, but they can still go for whatever, so he could really just finish that, but no. So now Jonovic kind of does the same thing. He's like, GW are suing so many people, I'm just gonna quit and do something else. Well, okay, I mean, it's your choice, of course, I understand. But what to tell you guys, this is very unfortunate. So the point is that even if GHAMAK are not completely right in the situation, which you gotta explain me how they're not right, because so far everything looks, really checks out. Even the models that are similar have enough differences to be considered okay. I mean, GW can decide to be, horrible for whatever reason, because that's absolutely exactly what they do. They will not lose money over somebody else that are making like 3D printing things anyway, because the people that want to buy 3D printing whatever, figures, they will go for that anyway. And the people that don't want to buy GW original product, they will not buy GW original product. Now, I mean, I can't afford their freaking miniatures, even if I wanted to. They're double my money in my country. Double. So if you pay $100 for custodies or whatever, I will pay $200 for that. For example, I mean, some of you actually gifted me through Amazon a custody box set. I have 2 now, which I'm very grateful for. I painted my first custodies 2 years ago. I have the other box with Sisters of Silence and custodies. It's super cool. Have to finish that. It's my gray pile of shame. But yeah, the point is that this is the only way that I can afford this. I mean, I still can't. So somebody gives this to me and I paint it in their honor because they did whatever I could so I can get that. But I will totally always choose a friend that has a 3D printer otherwise for other things. I will never buy from GW. I'm not their clientele. So many other people are not their clientele, but they can afford what GHAMAK sells. So they will never anyway give money to GW, and GW will never anyway lose any money to people that are that are not willing to buy their stuff in any case. So by that token, I think that this guy is a lot more correct to do whatever he wants. Unfair competition. This seems a bit ridiculous again because those are two different things. He also sells the 3D printed files, and that's why they don't like him. Also, that's the other reason, because they will never probably sell a 3D printed file. So then, because then you can just print them out and have whatever you want. But again, that's not their decision. Who are they to say you can't print stuff? You know, who are freaking they to say you can't do this, can't do that? They're already $1 billion companies, and they're whales. They're those people that we call whales, or just big fans that will always choose them, and those are the ones that don't care what's happening, don't care about the drama. They just want the miniatures, they want to play with friends and clubs, whatever. So I don't think they're gonna lose these people unless I don't know what else happens. So technically GW, at the end of the day, the bottom line is that they will not lose any money anyway. A lot of people are boycotting them in any case, and they will not continue to play the game whatever happens. They're absolutely solid on that. And this is something that GW did on their own. They lost their own clientele, entirely by themselves. And of course, they do have higher profits now, which we saw last year with their financial reports, all those things. So some people are joining the universe, and some people are discovering them that don't care what happened or don't know what happened, what GW are doing in their free time, I guess, with people and with their lore and all of those things. So GW are getting more and more successful despite all of the drama, and GHAMAK are not the people that are gonna make a dent in their bottom line. So if they are suing them this way, in such a ridiculous way, all the things that he listed that they didn't reply, then they came back again 1-2 years later with, now we're gonna sue you, yay, not clarifying what's the problem. That should be illegal on its own. So we see what happens, guys. I think power to the people, it's the better choice anyway, and if he wins, this will set a better precedent for such huge companies, for them to not think that they can just do whatever. And if the court rules in favor of GHAMAK, then I think that the people will win. And what happened with MNG, he managed to get out by the skin of his teeth, and at least that happened. But we need more, wins for the people. At least that is how I am right now. I mean, that's where I stand. But let me know how you think, what you know about these things. If you can maybe put something down in the comments that's a bit more informed from a legal standpoint, I would love to hear it, guys. Now I really have to join the other stream. I really do, because I'm super late. I'm gonna read your last comment and then I am gonna have to go. Yay, Cowan says this kind of a stiffing of competition only create a monopoly. Yeah, exactly. On the genre, Microsoft is a great example of this with operating systems. It just stagnates innovation, capitalism, love it, not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you. Okay, guys, so let's go rate disgusting, and I'm gonna join that stream in a bit as well. If you're interested in the pop culture crazy stuff or whatever we do over there in the other channels, you can check that. Until next time, Mr. YouTube, absolutely. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. Let's see your names on the screen now. Love you guys. With me, the 40k Embers. Bye bye.
The 40k Empress leads the way as warriors of the imperium sway into realms where dangers play, where hidden minds hold sway. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eye. I will prevail.